They dedicated a lot of time to get this done. But yeah, you could see the details put into it. And just like the other cars in the Cusco team, there's 4 other cars in the Cusco team. They got 2 GR86s, a GR A90 Supra, and then they also have the GR Yaris, which is driven by the young 13-year-old Hiroya Minoa, who took first last round at Suzuka Twin Circuit.
That's another driver to watch out for this season.
Exactly. Phenomenal driver. He puts the car where it needs to be.
Yeah, I remember I came out to Fuji, I think in like 2016 or 2017, and he's just around driving the crazy cars, so I knew he was gonna rip one day.
So yeah, we'll see here. We're still waiting for the track to get cleaned up on the back half due to Horiyuchi's ND Roadster. Not sure what happened with the LS motor.
That's the only LS car that's out here currently right now.
Yes. We're expecting one more, but it's still in production, getting it done. So hopefully we'll see it next round. But yeah, currently it's the only one. He didn't make round 1, but here he is in round 2. Threw down a 73-point second qualify run, and we'll have to see if that's going to be enough to carry him into the top 32. But yeah, this right now is our going into our second run for the second part of qualifying. We still have another 43 drivers to go.
All right, so I had to pull Sean off the mic because he was just, you know, chatting away. He wouldn't stop talking, so. No, Sean's, I've known Sean for a long time. He knows what he's doing because, you know, he did compete in Pro Spec before in Formula Drift. Been watching a lot of driving and drifting, and been to Japan so many times. We went driving together. Very experienced driver, very analytic, very, how can I say it, studies a lot, and yeah, so very accurate, I would say, judge to be on here with one of us as one of us on the judging panel. So I'd like to thank him for the time that he's here. Looking at this car, I'm not sure, like you said, the timeline of how they built this car, but it is a left-hand drive. And Cusco, they have the RS, they have 2 86s, they have 1 GR Supra. They have the old FRS,
Yeah, he's competing in
J2.
J2.
That's a lot of cars that they built. Now they got this GR Corolla in the mix.
Yeah, and I gotta say, I saw one of the comments because, you know, I didn't roll my R like you did. Like, listen to Robbie.
Robanbera.
Yeah, see, I'm working on it, so just work with me.
He said he couldn't. He doesn't know how to roll.
I'm struggling with it.
So we're gonna change today, since Kenny can't roll his R's. We're gonna switch to Sean. He knows how to roll his R's.
There you go.
So. Yeah, sorry about that, Kenny.
I got the live chat going on. I'm checking y'all out, seeing what's going on.
Kenny's getting the boot after today. Thank you to whoever
called me out.
Commented that.
Sorry, Robbie calls me out all the time, so it works. But somebody was asking, are you ever going to drive the R35 again?
Oh, man, you know what? I just saw that car at Jerry Racing when we went to FD Atlanta. I got to visit his shop real quick. And, yeah, that thing is a beauty. And, you know, hopefully maybe do a demo or something like that one of these days. If I get a chance to drive that car, that would be awesome. And you know what? I would like to see that car back in competition. Maybe somebody could, you know, start up a team or something, or maybe even ship it to Japan and do something here. So looking out for, you know, any other drivers that are out there that are interested in doing, you know, international rounds, being able to do, you know, Formula Drift Japan rounds, FDJ2 rounds, J3 rounds. Hopefully this lifting to traveling restrictions here in Japan is going to make everything more, you know, fun. Like the last Matsuri we came to see here at Ebisu Circuit, there was a gang of people here with a lot of people out here enjoying drifting. So, you know, hopefully we can keep this momentum going.
Exactly. They're talking a little bit about the other series that go on. So we have this is Formula Drift Japan. This is the Pro Series, equivalent to Formula Drift US Pro. And then we have FDJ2, which is just like Pro Spec in the States. And we also have FDJ3, which is the feeder series into the Pro Series. It's kind of like, what is it, Pro-Am.
Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, kind of broke it down for y'all. I know it's in the chat right now. You guys are talking about it, but that's pretty much the breakdown of how it is. It's a feeder series into a feeder series just to make the Pro Series more and more competitive.
I don't even think I'd make it in Pro Spec or FDJ2.
Because you don't have a car? I mean, that's a start, but
I think I'm old, so I can't see, and you know, arms get tired.
but there you go. There goes Shang Nian.
Yep. Nian is warming up his tires, and you know, it really sucks because when you're at the line ready to go and you're like all, you know, concentrated and ready to go, and sometimes, you know, things happen on the track, and you know, it's an accident, so it can happen to anybody, but that kind of throws you off too. As an ex-competitor, I had that before.
But there he is. He's rolling up to the line now, ready to do his second qualify run. Got a 72 on his first qualify run in the rain. We're going to see how he's going to do. He's definitely a wild driver.
Yeah, so this is a car that he did do FD Pro Spec a few years back and brought this back over here, and it kind of sat since. His other vehicle that he drives usually is still in pieces and not back together, so this is what he's going to be driving this weekend. But, you know, he said the car feels the same, and we'll see how he does in the drive.
It looks like here he is coming in real hot into this outer zone 1. Coming around.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Just holding on right there. Dipping 2 tires, but unable to hold on right there. And missing out. He's going to have to hope that the 72-point first qualify run that he had is going to be enough to carry him into the top 32.
Yeah, and like I said, I didn't want to jinx it, but, you know, the weight and all this other stuff, too, it kind of throws you off, you know. And it's just unfortunate that it had to happen because it's just natural that, you know, things happen on the track and on the fly, everything always happens, so. That's an incomplete for Nian. And you know what? Congratulations to him. They're, you know, second baby is on the way. That's what I heard. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got his family out here, so I know he's a huge family man. So I'm glad that his family's out here to support him, and I know he's very happy to have him out here. But let's hope that this 72-point score is going to take him into tandem battles tomorrow. And our next driver is coming up to the line, sitting on an incomplete right now, number 620, Hideo Hidioka in the HRK Rapid ZN686. Overall, he got 6th in the 2022 FDJ2 series, and here he is moving into the Pro Series.
Unfortunately, he had 3 tires off at the end of the track at the outside zone 3 area. Hopefully he could keep it within the track. That's a 2JZ, 800 horsepower. A lot of these cars are around 1,200 kilos to 1,300 kilos. It seems like, you know, they're right in that spot.
Here he's approaching the 3-2-1 here, coming back around. Little shallow in that outer zone 1, trying to get back into it. Shallow in outer zone 2, could be a lot deeper in both those zones, swinging it back around, but you can see right there, lacking in the angle, but able to save himself into that outer zone 3.
Yeah, that's the key right there. You know, the touch and go area going to the outside zone 3, the angle, and look at this right here. Not a whole lot of angle going to outside zone 1 by Hidioka. It looks like he pours out a little bit more angle in outside zone 2. Then right here, touch and go, kind of goes in shallow, carries too much speed and has to, you know, tame the car to go around the outside zone 3 area.
Here's the bird's eye view coming back around, real shallow in that outer zone 2. And then kind of just driving through that touch and go.
Yeah, so I think if you're not pouring on good amount of angle outside zone 2, leaving the outside zone 2, you're going to kind of come in shallow at the touch and go area right here.
Yeah, it gets really narrow from that transition from outer zone 2 to that touch and go. There you go, 72. 72 will be his score. Hopefully it's enough to get him in top 32.
And right here we got car number 9, Yukio Matsui from Ocean with M2 Evolution. Supposed to debut as BMW F22, but he wants to bring the car, and he was explaining on his Instagram that he wants to make sure that the car is in perfect condition so he didn't want to rush it. So he is here with the S13, already getting an 86. And now let's see how he's going to do in the drive.
Exactly. This S13 experience to the podium right here. He got first overall in the 2022 Formula Drift Japan FDJ2 Series, and here he is ripping back around through outer zone 2 there. Nice job through that touch and go, coming back around. And I gotta say, he really knows that car very well.
Yeah, he does. He's really comfortable in this car. It doesn't seem like the car has a lot of power, so he seems like he is struggling a little bit. Now that it's dry, it seemed like he was a little bit more comfortable in the wet. But very clean angle throughout the track. And I think he does, like you said, he does know the limits of his car and drives it very well.
Look at that, you can see him filling all of outer zone 2.
And look at this. That's what I want to see at the touch and goes, angle. And you set yourself up with good angle through the touch and go, and you flow out. 88 points. Very good job by Matsui. I know the car is, lacking on power, but I think total balance, he has it down. The drivability of it and the grip of it and also the power. It's all, a good balance. So we'll see where he's going to be placed in the top 32.
All right, we'll see if this next driver can balance himself to stay on the track here. Number 41, Shinichi Uemura in the TMS Racing Team Saddle Tire Uemura Sangyo JZX100 Mark II. Got his incomplete on his first qualify run. We'll see how he's going to do. Here he is, coming through the chicane now. Bringing it around through this 3-2-1 right here. Not too bad through outer zone 1, but looks like he took too much there approaching that outer zone 2 and had to adjust himself, which is overshooting right there. We'll have to see how it was in that outer zone 3. Hopefully it wasn't too many tires dropped.
Yeah, a lot of wavering and not committed to the angle. Right there, shoots right in at the outside zone 1. Seems like he's struggling, and all I can say is it seems like there's a lot of grip in the car.
Here you go, the bird's eye view.
Right here, it's easy to tell when your car isn't going sideways. You initiate at the initiation area, go through the outside zone 1, and right when he got on throttle, the car shoots forward and takes him on the inside line. Not what we want to see. We want to make sure that the car is flowing on the outside, goes into the outside zone 2 late, and kind of barely gets back on the track, or gets back on the line he wants to be at. But right there's 2 tires off at the outside zone 3 as well.
Yeah, I gotta say though, his first right there he goes 71 for his qualify run. Had it incomplete at first. There he is for 71 on his second qualify run. There was a lot of promise in that initiation that he had, but unfortunately, like you said, once he got back on the throttle, gripped up, sucked him in a little, so.
Yeah. All right, and getting an 83 for his first run, car number 19, Yuichi Amagai from Good Ride Motorsports with perfect style. Seems like he's back to being himself now.
Yeah.
An exciting driver to watch.
And we saw him during the break. He's going to step it up right here, so we'll see. Definitely a wild driver, really kicking it real hard into that outer zone 1, filling that outer zone 1, coming back around, trying to get control of the car. Was a little bit outside, dipping 2 tires early on into outer zone 2, bringing it back around through this touch and go. But what a strong finish right there through outer zone 3.
So there was a couple of areas where he did to make mistakes or had to make a lot of adjustments. Right here too, he had to kind of pause to get back on the track where he was dipping 2 tires at the outside zone 2 area. Nice job at the angle there at the touch and go, but looked like he had a little bit more space to make it out to the touch and go, on the outside of the touch and go. Yeah, here we go. Looks like he came in a little too hot, overshot the outside zone 2, try to bring the car back in. But this is really hard because you're so used to driving in the wet, trying to adjust your speed going to the outside zone 1 and 2 area in the wet, and now all of a sudden it's dry, and they don't even have a warm-up run, so you're going to have to kind of go with the muscle memory that you have from yesterday when you were driving at when it was dry.
There you go, 83 for his second qualified run, so tied it up from his first. So let's see where that's going to put him in the brackets. Next up, rolling up to the line now is going to be number 125, Yoshichika Tamagawa in the Car Guy Racing JZA 80 Supra. 71 for his first qualified run. We'll see what tricks he has in the bag.
Yeah, so these cars, they're all, you know, somewhere between 1,200 to 1,300, 1,400 kilograms, which is about, you know, 3,000 pounds, 2,900 pounds, somewhere around there, where you want to be at.
Here he is coming in real hot into this outer zone 1. Could have been a little bit deeper, and it looks like he's kind of making the same mistakes he did on his first qualified run, not being deep enough into those zones. But definitely making it happen, but unfortunately left a lot on the table there.
Yeah, and you know what? It looks like he's rushing through it, and maybe it is more grippier because they have it set up in the wet. Very shallow on the angle right there at outside zone 1. Pours a little bit more when he was entering outside zone 2, but starts to lose angle again. Not a whole lot of angle at the touch and go as well, and kind of cuts right in, doesn't make it into the box. Clearly marked on the outside of the outside zone 3.
So we'll see if this run was enough to boost his score from a 71. And it looks like I have a lot of high 60s predictions on the chat right now.
Hey, and you know what? We'll just write down the scores that we see on the chat right now, because you guys are pretty good.
Yeah, they are pretty spot on for their scores.
But I think there's not a whole lot of, there's not a big difference in, you know, how you can see the drifting. And, you know, we do break it down into 3 categories. In the U.S. right now, we do
66. So you were right, mid 60s is what y'all were saying.
Yep. All right, so a 71, Tamagawa got a 71 for his first run, and hopefully that's going to be good enough to put him in the top 32 spot.
But here we are, the next driver and the one after that, they're going to have to throw down a solid run here with incompletes. Number 610K Murakami in the Village of JZX 100 Mark II has to make it happen. Here he is coming around to outer zone 1 right there, tipping 2 tires, getting right back on it, and unable to get to that early part of outer zone 2, just making that back half of outer zone 2. Swinging it back through the touch and go, cleaning it up right there at the finish, but unfortunately that first half.
It was too late.
Yeah.
I mean, if he drove like that in the beginning, the second half of the track looked amazing. But right here on the outside zone 1, dips 2 tires a little bit too wide. And right here, misses outside zone 2, over half of the outside zone 2. Then here's where he turns on the switch. A lot of angle at the touch and go. I love that. Mad angle at the outside zone 3. That's a perfect score for me for the touch and go area in the outside zone 3. But everything else, we're going to have to see what the other judges have to say.
Yeah, if you look at that layout for outer zone 2, that was kind of like what it was laid out last year's track. But this year, it's a lot deeper. They can carry a lot more heat into that outer zone 1 to drag them out to that outer zone 2. And you can see right there just being a little bit too deep through outer zone 1, dropping 2 tires, throwing them offline into that outer zone 2, just making the back half of that zone.
See, so throwing a lot of angle at the outside zone, or I'm sorry, the touch and go, and going to the outside zone 3 is possible.
75, not bad at all. 75 will be his run that he's going to hope that's going to carry him into the top 32.
And a lot of the guys, like, his outside zone 1 and 2 wasn't too great, but he still got a 25 for angle because he got max points for touch and go in the outside zone 3. You got to do the math. You don't want to leave any of the score on the table. That's going to hurt you later.
So here we are. Next up is number 7, Junji Yamamoto in the Good Ride 2JZ FD3S project. This car looks like it didn't get any damage from that wreck, but yeah, he ended up crashing into the side of the wall. Here he is, ripping into outer zone 1, dipping 2 tires early on, just holding on to the car here, ripping into this outer zone 2. missing the first half of it, but able to get right back on it, filling that touch and go and outer zone 3. So it was almost like a copy paste for that that touch and go outer zone 3 for both last drive.
Yeah, I like the way that was. I mean, the last two areas was good, but right here it throws a lot of angle. Then I think that's an incomplete, maybe. All right there, it's confirmed. It's confirmed when he initiated, he didn't go to angle, the car slid, and he went to angle to counter steer, but he had to steer it back again to go straight, and pretty much that's right here, and going straight. So that's going to be an incomplete. Unfortunate because he did get an incomplete for his first run. That's going to be 2 incompletes, so Yamamoto's weekend is over.
Very unfortunate right there. You can see right there the huge correction coming in outer zone 1, straightening his wheel out.
Man, I mean, I would have gave him, you know, max score at the touch and go and the outside zone 3 for angle, but
there's the official score for him. And next at the line, ready to go, is number 38, Tadahito Fukada with the Tanaba SSR Team Dunlop JZX 100 Mark II.
now Fukada is not sitting in a good position right now because he only has a 63 for his first run. I'm not sure if that's good enough to make it into the top 32. Now, is this Gentle Giant going to be able to up the score now that the track is dry?
We'll see here, but you can see how his front bumper is missing due to practice session early on this morning. Rode the bank, but here he is coming into outer zone 1. Coming into this touch and go. Kind of held back a little bit through that touch and go, but finishing strong through that outer zone 3.
Yeah, you know what? As an angle judge, in my opinion, a little too shallow. And right here, I'm not sure if there's like some kind of trouble with the car. Doesn't get on throttle as early as possible as he should be, and also a lot of wavering. It doesn't look like he's you know, it doesn't look like the car is being, I don't know, steady or inconsistent. I'm not sure. A lot of wavering. The line is not on par either, so is not looking too good for Fukada.
There you go, 68. Not sure if that's going to be safe for him or not.
Yeah, it's better than the 63, but we'll see. All right, so next driver up is Yutaro Oe from Awatire Racing, driving the FD RX-7, everyone's favorite car. The way got a 67 for his first qualifying run.
Here he is coming around the 3-2-1. Trying to make it into that zone, but just couldn't make that first half of outer zone 2 right there. Bringing it right back around through the touch and go. Three-rotor just screaming through the track.
All right, once again, I don't know if he's gripped up a little bit too much, but not a whole lot of angle going through outside zone 1, pouring on a little bit more at outside zone 2. Late into the zone and outside zone 2.
We'll see if this is going to be enough to bump up his 67-point first qualify run. You can see how he entered outer zone 2 halfway through.
Yeah, it's just the commitment, the angle, you know, everything has to line up and add up. Oh, it's a 75.
Coming up to the line now, ready to go, is going to be number 73, Ikuo Saito in his Moti's West Auto R35 GTR. Got a 66 on his first qualify run. Was in a JZX 100 last year. Debuted the car last event. Let's see how he's going to do for his second qualifying run for the day. Here he is ripping through gears, coming in 3-2-1.
Whoa.
Swinging back around, unable to get to that outer zone 2. Took a little bit away from his angle into that touch and go, filling outer zone 3. But yeah, it looks like he struggled through that track, gripped up a little bit through that outer zone 2.
Yeah, very, very shallow going into outside zone 1. A little bit of a pause there for outside zone 2. Hardly no angle at the touch and go, and minimal corrections going to, or not so bad on the angle at outside zone 3, but yeah, I wouldn't say this is the prettiest run done by Saito.
Yeah, he's currently sitting on a 66. We'll see here if it's going to be enough.
Wow, he does miss a sizable amount of the outside zone 2.
Yeah. We are waiting for the scores to come in. There you go, 60. So he's going to bank on that first qualify run he had with a 66. So next up at the line, ready to go, got an incomplete on his first qualifier run, is going to be number 12, Nagayasu Miyagi in the Car Guy Racing ZN686. You see the damage he sustained during practice, riding the wall. Spun out, unable to complete his first qualifier run. Here he is, ooh, real late, having a trouble keeping that car sideways. And yeah, unfortunately, that looks like it's going to be another incomplete for Miyagi.
Yeah, many corrections that I would have to say, even if that was a drift and he didn't correct, that would be an unchaseable lead run. Many, many corrections throughout the track. Unfortunate that Miyagi got 2 incompletes, so his weekend is done.
So he has 2 drivers so far with 2 incompletes. We have 45 drivers competing today. We're on the second part of qualify. We had a 2-hour break in between. Got lunch. I didn't tell y'all we had karage and rice, which is fried chicken and rice.
Yeah, deep fried chicken, doesn't have any bones in it. It's pretty
It was pretty on point, but like Robbie said, I like to eat food, and so thanks Robbie for that. As he's quiet, not listening to me.
No, I just saw the. No, you like food. I mean, I like food too, but
Well, I'm on another
I
level.
wish it was a little bit more warm though.
Oh, yeah.
Warmer.
But here we are, warming us up is going to be number 17, Jin Horino in the Good Ride Sports with Tops Racing Mu S14. Powered by VR. Let's see how he's going to do. Got a 74 on his first qualified run. He's just trying to get this car dialed in. It's a new ride for him. Still get some kinks out of it. Here he is ripping into that 3-2-1. Coming in real aggressive through outer zone 1. Nice job through that outer zone 1. Bringing it around to this outer zone 2, but unable to get into that zone. Pretty much the whole zone was missed right there. Bringing it back into this touch and go to outer zone 3.
I mean, it just looks like it's just gripped up a lot. And he swings it out, comes out good, but gets on gas. The car tries to go straight again, wavering at the outside zone 1. Doesn't make it all the way to the outside zone 2. Got to go into the zone with shallower angle. And pretty much looks like he's racing through the track. And
yeah, he definitely takes a lot of his angle out. You can see right there, missing outer zone 2. So we'll see. 74 was his first qualify run. See how much is going to get deducted for some of the angle issues. There you go, 72. So yeah, his first qualify run was better off. And this driver right here was unable to make it to the line for his first qualify run. Number 75, Koji Nagase. He's in the Team Kazama with Power Vehicles Lexus IS350C. I don't know if he missed his first run due to the fact that he didn't want to put his top on or what, but no, he had some mechanical issues. They figured it out, got it squared away. Powered by a 2GR under the hood, insane power plant. We're going to see how he's going to perform on his first official qualified run out here at Ebisu West Course. Here he is coming through the chicane. Here he is ripping into that outer zone 1. Nice job filling that zone, getting back on it, but it's pulling him back in. There he is carrying into that outer zone 2. Look at that aggression coming through the touch and go into this outer zone 3. And right there in front of the crowd, just throwing smoke on them all.
Yeah, that was a lot of throttle there. Slightly sloppy, but overall, I think not bad for the one and only run out of the 2. Misses the outside zone 2 a little bit, but he's has no problem looking for the throttle because there's a slight bobble here and there. But he's able to keep the car, the throttle mash down.
Yeah, right here after this outer zone 2, you can see the commitment level right there. Just full throttle from there, transitioning back around into this touch and go, and then still on it right here, carrying it into the second half of that outer zone 3.
Right here with the drone, throws in good amount of angle, a little bit of wavering here and there, but makes it out to the outside, last half of the outside zone 2. Okay amount of angle at the touch and go.
There you go. 77.
Hey, that feels a little safe because he's closer into the 80s.
Yeah, for sure. But
and as of now, we have 2 drivers that are already knocked out because they have double zeros.
And we'll see how this driver is going to do. He has an incomplete currently that he's sitting on. He's number 58, Kazuhiro Kubo, and the vacancy's 180SX. A lot of pressure on him coming into the second part of qualifying on the dry conditions, not getting a practice run. Here he is coming into outer zone 1. Not too bad through that zone. Could have been a little bit deeper through outer zone 1 and outer zone 2, but able so far get a run in the books, bringing it back around to this outer zone 3. So played it a little safe in most of the zones. We'll see how safe that's going to be, if it's going to boost his score or give him a good enough score to be in the top 32.
Yeah, so overall, high rate of angle, and, you know, I would have to say pretty smooth. Coming out the outside zone 2, a little bit shallower, and also to the touch and go. But overall, I'm pretty sure this is going to be a fairly good score for Kubo. You know, coming back and doing a run like this after, you know, an incomplete, sitting on an incomplete for the first run is really tough. But it looks like Kubo is able to pull through with it.
Yeah, and I got to say, yesterday during the dry conditions, he did a phenomenal job. So it looks like he's ready to go for tandem battles, but we're going to see if this is going to be good enough for him to be in tandem battles. And you were saying, you know, the high 70s is almost feeling like that safe zone.
Yeah, because I know there's 12 or 13 or so cars.
Ooh, 75, so he's in that middle of...
yeah, the mid-pack maybe, but... yeah, there's going to be about 12, 13, 14 or so cars that are going to be going home after today. Not going home, but not being able to compete. Now let's go ahead and check out what Andrew Gray is going to do. 4-time Formula Drift Japan champion, owner of Power Vehicles.
Here he is coming through the chicane, got a 79 on his first qualified run. Here he is into the 3-2-1, coming in with some heat right here through outer zone 1. Nice job ripping around to the outer zone 2 here. Coming in a little bit late in that zone, but still filling it right there. Second half, back through the touch and go through outer zone 3. And man, he looked very aggressive through his run. Almost like he was mad.
He's probably mad at us because he got a 79 for his first run. But I'd have to say, a little bit of waiver there on the outside zone 1. Gets pretty deep on the angle at outside zone 2. Then right here, a good amount at the touch and go, but I love it here where he gets super deep. And keeps the car sideways at the outside zone 3, so that was very impressive.
Yes, and this driver right here, this is one driver that has a home course advantage. I believe we have like 6 or 7 drivers that they call this course their home. So.
Yeah. And looking at Andrew Gray, I know the rain probably wasn't his cup of tea. Right there, kind of gets into the outside zone too, a little late. With the close-up, oh,
Ooh.
wow, 79. But you know what, that's close enough for an 80, so I'd have to say, you know, he's going to be in for sure. Now we have to see where he's going to be sitting in the top 32.
Exactly. He's coming around the hill. It's number 86, Kenichi Takashima, and his Team Kazama with Power Vehicles JZX 100 Chaser. Wasn't able to make it to the line last go around, and we weren't sure what.
Actually, no, I think maybe they were late getting the car ready and didn't make it to the line and didn't want to use their competition timeout. So now he's at the line, ready to go.
So we're going to see how he's going to do. It's going to be pretty much his first run that he's getting, and here he is coming into the 3-2-1. Oh, dipping 2 tires, it looked like, from the start at outer zone 1. Trying to get back on it here through outer zone 2. Definitely delayed there in the process of transitioning from outer zones 1 to 2. And then right there, just a little shallow through that outer zone 3.
I'm not sure if that's going to be a unchaseable lead or not, but very shallow getting into outside zone 1, and a lot of adjustment there getting out of going off course from outside zone 2 area. But I'd have to say not a whole lot of angle coming out of Takashima. Right here, as you can see from the drones footage, misses some of outside zone 3 as well. And here you go, the
chase
other drone,
right here,
yeah. 2 tires off,
another
tire off, and not consistent on the angle where he kind of not straightens, but you know, gets shallower and deeper and shallower and deeper.
There you go, 68.
All right, I'm not sure if you're going to be safe being in the 60s, but we'll see. Good luck to him, though.
All right, we have another driver that needs to get a run in the books. Number 61, Mao Yamanaka with the Good Ride Motorsports. He was our 2021, our first ever FDJ2 series that we ran. He's the champ of that season. He's in the A90 Good Ride Supra. Got it incomplete on his first qualify run.
Yeah, and I remember his first qualifying run was really good until the outside zone 2, and he had to straighten the transition. So let's see what he's got.
Coming into this outer zone 1, little shallow right there, or a lot shallow through that zone. Missing that zone, coming a little late into the outer zone 2. Oh! And saving the car right there.
Oh, no.
That's not good. That's 2 incomplete. So unfortunately, Mao Yamanaka is not going to be moving on into the top 32.
No, he isn't, and that's our 3rd double-0. And you know what? I'm not sure if it's like car problem or anything, but it is what it is. So hopefully we can get this young driver back on, back into the competition in a better situation, I guess.
Exactly, because he's a very competitive driver, but unfortunately right now, he's not going to be able to make it there.
Yeah, I mean, coming from Formula Drift FGJ2, winning that series, you know, it was kind of promising to see him, you know, kind of rise with the other stars. But it seems like he's been being held back with car issues and whatnot.
Last year he debuted his S15, 2J S15, and, you know, he had a few issues throughout the season, did okay overall, and then he moved into this new A90, so hopefully they'll dial him in, because yes, he's a phenomenal driver. He just needs to be in the right power plant. So here we are, next at the line is going to be number 963, Daichi Mizutani, and the Mizutani Motors Maryosha Racing S15. He has an incomplete right now, so he definitely needs to get a solid run in the books.
Man, if I was him, I'd be in the car, heart pumping, be nervous. Nah, I'm just kidding.
I wouldn't be in his situation.
No, if you were, but I don't get too nervous. Because it is what it is. You could do only your best, and you can't overthink things, so. Looks like they're about to start off Mizutani's second run, currently sitting on an incomplete. This is a really, really important lap for him in this 2J powered S15.
All right, here he is, starting off, coming through the chicane now. Has to throw down here for this run right here, coming into outer zone 1, trying to hang on there and drag it out to this outer zone 2, but unable to make it all the way out to that outer zone, but coming back around, picking up some heat here into this outer zone 3. And they'll have to look at that because that rotation there through the finish, it's very questionable at this point.
I know a lot of people half spin and give up and stop, but that just looked like a spin through the finish line. And we're gonna have to go ahead and see this one more time.
So waiting the judges' score. So here they're going to check out the replay one more time, see how it ended, because at the outer zone 3, he almost did he did a half spin, but they're trying to see if it was a full stall or what's going on. Robbie's going to explain a little bit more on that. If you're just joining us, this is the second part of round 2's qualify here at Ebisu Circuit for the 2023 G-Shock Presents Formula Drift Japan Series. We're 20 cars in. We got about 25 more cars to go in qualify. And then we're going to roll in tomorrow to top 32 and then top 16 shortly after that. If you're in the area and you're tuning in, come out. They're going to have the top 32 ceremony, and then shortly after, I believe they're going to have the autograph session, and you can come check out the vendor booths, everything else that's going on out here. Check out your favorite driver's cars. Go say what's up to your favorite driver. But still waiting for what the judges have to say about that run. Currently, Mizutani is sitting on an incomplete, so this is a huge decision by these judges that they're about to make, whether it's going to be an incomplete or they're going to give him a score, and if the score is even going to be high enough to make him competitive for the top 32 spot. Currently, the way we're sitting right now, we have 3 incompletes, 3 double incompletes, so 3 people are definitely going home, but we have 45 total drivers. 13 drivers are going to go home today. And yeah, what do you have to say there, Robbie? I know you guys had a lot of deliberation going on between how his run was.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but we're gonna have to incomplete it because we kind of have to stick with what we were saying. Now the track condition isn't changed; it's dry. There's no excuse for the vehicle to have to do a half spin through the finish line. And if there was a car chasing him, he would have hit him. And we're just going to count that as an unchaseable lead. And unfortunately, it is really unfortunate, but that's just the way it's going to be. And Mizutani's going to get a incomplete.
Very understandable, especially when we're putting an aspect of tandem battling. They got the lead drivers got to put a solid run down. Let's see this solid run by number 21, Ken Gushi, with Team Kazama and Power Vehicles. Got a 77 on his first qualified run. Coming in his brand new car right here, his IS 500, ripping through outer zone 1 right there. Getting right back on it into this outer zone 2. A little shallow through outer zone 2, but here he is through the transition in the touch and go. And hard into this outer zone 3 through the finish.
All right, good rate of angle at the outside zone 1, but I saw a mistake where he made it into the outside zone 2. Right here, then he had to pull the e-brake and kind of didn't go around the outside zone 2 as clean as he should be. Maybe it gripped up, I'm not sure. But he had to make an adjustment at the outside zone 2. Let's go ahead and check this out from the top to see how much of a waiver that was. Going into outside zone 2, didn't make it, then right there, he had to kind of re-initiate pretty much to get to the outside, the later side of the outside zone 2.
Yeah, if you haven't seen the details on this car, go check them out on Kazama Auto's Instagram. This is actually a left-hand drive IS 500. So when Ken Gushi comes from the West Coast out here, to compete, he's literally doesn't really have to adjust too much of how he's got to drive. He's just got to adjust, obviously, the length of the car.
When I first competed in,
there you go,
80 points.
So
when I had to first compete in the U.S. and I had to drive an left-hand drive, I was like, oh man. I mean, it didn't take long to get adjusted to it, but you know, being comfortable in what you like and what you usually use, it's going to help him out, because I think Taniguchi was in a right-hand drive car in the RC last year. So
yeah, especially muscle memory with your guys' whole hydro e-brake and switching gears, all that. But next up at the line is good. He got a 75 on his first qualify run. Yoshitatsu Kaneda in his Cusco Racing GR86. Here he is coming in real hot into this outer zone 1. Nice job through outer zone 1. Let's see if he can carry it through this outer zone 2. Looks like he held up a little bit, and he left a little early through outer zone 2. Coming back around into this outer zone 3.
Yeah, there was a boggle there at the outside zone 2 area. Let's go ahead and check this out on the replay. Nice job on outside zone 1. Not a high rate of angle, but it looks like he pours on a little bit more angle, but pulls it a little out and kind of waits to get back on throttle at the outside zone 2 area. Right here watching the racing drone chasing him around. You know, good rate of angle towards the end of the track. But let's see, we're going to have to look into all the mistakes that Kaneda did. Oh, 3 more points. It's a 78.
So went from a 75 to a 78 for Kaneda. All right, next at the line, ready to go, is going to be number 80, Yuta Komatsu in the Komatsu Racing Lexus IS. He got a 73 on his first qualify run. Cleaned the car up, got it ready to go. Wasn't able to get out here in round 1 for Formula Drift Japan, but able to make his car debut here in round 2. Kano girl out there representing for Komatsu. Let's see how he's going to do. Like I said, 73. I know he had, what happened with his engine again for round 1?
Before, I guess he went testing, and before the round, like
2
to 3 days before, something like that, I guess his oil pump broke and it shattered, and it pretty much blew up everything inside the block. He was lucky he was able to salvage. He had to re-weld the block. I think there's a hole in it, or there's a crack in it. And I think the crack was made because one of the rods pushed the big chunk of oil pump into the wall or something. But
you can hear it rip now. Got it done. Finished hours before he came out. And here he is coming back around into outer zone 1. Literally breaking the car in here, but unfortunately over-rotating his 73-point first qualify run. He's got a bank on it. So, going too deep there through outer zone 3 and luckily saving it. But yeah, he hasn't really got too much seat time since he got the car completed.
Yeah, I mean, another victim of, you know, gripping up their car too much, where you have so much momentum coming into the zone and you try to toss your car, but it doesn't go all the way to angle. Like right here, the car doesn't want to go to angle because it's gripped up so much, so you end up getting pushed out to the outside of the track. And yeah. That's pretty much it. So he's going to have to bank on that 87 or 73-point run.
You can see him. So it looks like the next driver is pulling up to the line right now, number 870. And there's the official score for Komatsu with a 0 for the incomplete, but he has a 73 that he's going to take on and hopefully get a spot in the top 32. But at the line now is going to be number 870, Akihiro Hanawa in his T-Squares with Good Ride DGR Eternal Speedmaster Z4. Powered by a VQ, got a 69 on his first qualify run. Robbie's all about that VQ power.
Used to be.
Used to be. Well, here he is, approaching the 3-2-1 here. just shallow into that outer zone 1, coming back around through outer zone 2, shallow through outer zone 2. Definitely could be a lot deeper into those zones. Yeah, and that's very unfortunate. All the zones he was pretty shallow in.
Online, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in angle, not a whole lot of angle either, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's a new car, new build. The builder and the car, the owner of the car is different, or the driver and the owner of the car is different. And this is Takaki. He used to compete in Formula Drift Japan last year, and another driver, Hanawa, is driving this car, and I think, yeah, I hear a lot of popping back here with the anti-lag. In Hanawa's vehicle. It's cool to see a totally different platform with a totally different powertrain. Ooh, 69. It's another 69, so.
I don't know if that's going to be safe for him. We'll see here. Our next driver at the line, ready to go, is number 666, Shuichi Mano, in his Vittor Racing with Chadi Boy Style 1 Via. He had a 74 for his qualify run. Here he is coming around the 3-2-1 here. Approaching the outer zone 1. Nice shot through outer zone 1 and 2, not too bad. Bringing it back around through the touch and go, and here he is into outer zone 3. Not super exciting, but he definitely got himself in the zones where he needed to be.
Yeah, I'd have to say kind of a low energy run. Kind of pours on the angle towards the end of outside zone 1, then doesn't get right back on throttle at the beginning of outside zone 2, which we want to see him throttle through so it doesn't, change the rate of angle. So I'd have to say maybe a pretty average run overall. So I'm not going to say he made huge mistakes. I'm not going to say he did super good either.
There you go, 74.
Yeah, so it's at 74. For his second run, he got a 74 in the wet for the first run too, so.
Here we are, number 5, Tomoki Tanaka is in the V-Style Good Ride with Tetsujin JZX 100, is ready to go, got a 78 for his first qualify run. Here he is, approaching the 3-2-1 here. Ooh, looks like he got sucked in a little bit through that outer zone 1 and just can't find himself. Completely sideways through outer zone 2. And like Robbie's been saying, it looks like a lot of these cars are gripping up a little bit too much for their second run.
Yeah, it's totally different. And I understand, it's wet earlier, so you have that feeling where you're driving in the wet, but still, you always want to make sure that your car is going to be within reach, being able to control and do what you want to do. And I think what happens is a lot of these drivers that does better on the second half of the track, they start to realize how they should be driving it through outside zone 1 and 2 and say, oh man, and then let me fix things as I'm going.
And that's the big thing that for the spectators out there that I want you to know is between this morning's qualify to this afternoon's qualify, there you go, 69 is his official score, so 78 is what he's going to take to top 32. They didn't get a practice run into it because yesterday's during practice day, they both had both conditions to test their cars out at.
Yes, they did.
And here we are, number 311. This is his home course here. Naoto Suenaga in the Atlas Tire Drift, Team Fukushima Fairlady Z. He got first here last year. Let's see if he can get a top spot. Got an 82 on his first qualify run. And like Robbie was explaining during his first qualify run, that's an exterior shell of a 400Z on a 370Z chassis coming around outer zone 1. Nice job through that zone, coming back around. Oh, but you can see right there, grip right back up through that outer zone 2. And now he's just slanging the car through this outer zone 3.
Oh.
Knowing that he made a big mistake into that outer zone 2.
There you go. I mean, he's sitting on an 82 for his first run, so I get it. But once again, you know, it is a little past the finish line, but we don't want to see the car spinning out through the finish line, period. And we have to put our foot down for this one too, but right there, it's pretty much you know, we want a good pace leaving through the finish line, but pretty much that was one turn where he kind of spun through the outside zone 3. But, you know, to be honest, I'm not going to say this was the cleanest run that Suenaga does on his second run here, and spins out pretty much going through the finish line. So we'll see, because he's sitting on an 82, which is a very nice, a good score.
Yeah, and I gotta say the build on that car is pretty sweet. The exterior shell of it, 370Z with a 400Z exterior.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
VR powered. We'll see how this next driver is going to do. He had a 74 on his first qualify run. It's going to be number 530, Wataru Masuyama, in his Good Ride Motorsports GR Yaris. He actually had a really bad crash last year here in his 350Z, which put him into this platform right here, which he's done a phenomenal job all of the rest of last year and so far this year. And here he is coming around outer zone 2, carrying it through, flicking it back around through this touch and go. And into outer zone 3 there, man, the commitment he had through that zone.
All right, so overall, looking at the run. I'm sorry, I'm doing 5 things at once, but looking at the run right here, good amount of angle poured out towards the end of the track. I would say average amount through the track, the outside zone 1 and 2. Now it's all up to how well he did on the line. Looks like he fills outside zone 1 fairly well. Kind of goes into outside zone 2 a little later. And looks like he dips a tire or so at the outside zone 3.
There you go, 83 for his second qualify run. Solid run by Masuyama.
Maybe he doesn't like the wet in that car, because he had a 74 for his first run. But
true, but his 74 was very safe. It wasn't dynamic, anything crazy, so you're probably right. But these next 3 drivers have to step it up because they're all on incompletes. The first one up is going to be number 111, Tetsuya Hibino, in his Good Ride Motorsports
and man,
RZ30.
Talk about Hibino's run. That was a really, really good run up until he spun, or half spun at the finish line towards the end at the outside zone 3. If that wasn't there, I would, you know, I'm guessing that would have been a pretty good score. But let's see what he can do in the dry now.
Yeah, we're going to have to see here, because yesterday he didn't get a lot of practice. And look at that hard angle thrown into this outer zone 1, dipping 2 tires, trying to stay right back on it through this outer zone 2 here, coming back around into the touch and go. Nice job through that touch and go region into this outer zone 3.
Nice. I like the back half. He did have mistakes at the outside zone 1 and 2 where he was supposed to go right here. That's a lot of angle from the beginning. 2 tires off, but a little bit of wavering here and there. A lot of adjustment going through outside zone 2, but he does carry a lot of angle. And right here, nice flick to the touch and go, and a lot of angle pouring out onto the outside zone 3. Right here, so making deductions for the angle on the wavering, and overall.
Yeah, he came out very aggressive on that run, making up for his mistake he had on outer zone 3. He definitely showed his commitment.
Yeah, look at this. I mean, this is like, I want people to watch I want people to watch, you know, some of these, and you know, it don't even have to be the perfect run. They could see the bits and pieces that we explain where we like it. I like the way he did. There you go, 80 points. I like the way he took care of the touch and go. You know, his line was bad. He could have been a better run for him if he was on a better line, but there was a lot of angle and touch and go to the outside zone 3, and a lot of throttle as well.
Yeah, so solid 80 right there. Let's see how this next driver is going to do sitting on an incomplete number 30. Takumi Sato in the Team Kazama with Power Vehicles JZX 100 Chaser. One of the 7 cars in the fleet of Team Kazama with Power Vehicles. And here he is coming up, approaching the 3-2-1, trying to make up for his mistakes in his first qualify run here. Oh, and his car's just not cooperating. Straightening up, leaving outer zone 1, approaching that outer zone 2. So yeah, that's gonna wrap up his weekend for round 2 here at the G-Shock Presents Formula Joe Japan Ebisu circuit.
Sato is another victim of 2 incompletes. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drivers with incompletes. 2 incompletes, double zeros. And we still have 1, 2, 3, 4 drivers left with incompletes on their first qualify run. Really don't want to do that. At least you want to put up a fight to make it into the top 32, but unfortunately Sato's weekend is cut short. Will not be making it into the top 32 for tomorrow's tandem.
All right, another driver coming up. He's on an incomplete. He's also in a Team Kazama with Power Vehicles car, a JZX 100 also, but a Mark II, not a Chaser. And here he is. It's going to be Roy Okabe. This man's had a lot of practice. He loves the chassis. His practice car is a JZX 100 also. So we're going to see how he's going to do on his second qualify run.
So all these cars do look identical, but I think all of them are set up different to each driver's likings. Now let's see what Okabe is going to show us here.
Here he is coming around into outer zone 1 here. Oh, looks like it's pulling away from outer zone 1 and outer zone 2. Could have been deeper through those zones. Coming back around. Yeah, so his setup on the jump right there for outer zone 1 and 2 is probably his biggest mistake.
Yeah, that's going to really hurt him, and I know the line judge is not going to cut him any slack here because he did totally miss outside zone 1 and most of outside zone 2 as well.
Yeah, you could see, I know somebody said this track looks difficult. You could see the drag up to outer zone 1. If you don't take that right angle toward outer zone 1, it's not going to allow you to create that curve around to that outer zone 2 to start off outer zone 2 early. So yes, it is a very difficult course, and that's what the purpose of this course is to do, is make it challenging for these pro drivers. There you go, 65. Oh, I don't know if that's going to be enough.
Yeah, it's going to be hard.
Because it was, what, three years ago? It was an inside clip after outer zone 1, right? If I'm not mistaken. So yeah.
Yeah, you know, and we kind of started to move away from inside clips, and nothing wrong with them. It's just that, you know, a lot of contacts happen. A lot of lead cars try to run away from the chase cars, and it's just a headache a lot of the times. Now we're moving out to all outside zones. It looks like it's working well, though, because the track is really hard anyway.
Exactly, and right here you have Imamaida coming around, got an 84 on his first qualify run, sitting pretty nice. We'll see how he's going to finish the second half of his second qualify run.
I mean, you know, if you have your car, there's so much. Like right now, it was really obvious with Imamaida. Right now, look at this. He can barely keep the car sideways because it's so gripped up. Now he's e-braking on the gas, e-braking. And there's so much going on with the car where right when he gets on gas, the movement of the car changes so much that it looks really unstable. And I think that's what the judge, or I'm sorry, that's what the, I'm sorry, brain fart.
Judges?
The style judge
okay.
is going to be looking at.
Yeah, he handbraked a lot throughout this course. You can see right there, hanging on to it. And then once again through outer zone 2, hanging on to it, getting right back on it. And that's kind of been the common denominator between a lot of these drivers, is not getting a good test on their car and gripping up too much. There you go, 74. We're gonna keep his 84-point first qualifier run that he had. But I gotta say, this next driver coming up right here, coming all the way from New Zealand, he's probably really mad right now, and he's ready to get things started.
He's not mad, he's just Mad Mike.
Oh yeah, he is just Mad Mike. You're right. Mad Mike Wadet over here with Team Magic with Red Bull in the FD3S RX-7. Got an 89 on his first qualifier run. Let's see how he's going to do. He wants that top spot, and here he is, ribbing up into this 3-2-1. Coming in with some heat right there, filling outer zone 1. Beautiful job through outer zone 1, getting right back into outer zone 2. Look at that smoke trail ripping into this touch and go right here. And man, that 4-rotor screaming into the finish right in front of the crowd.
Wow. Yeah, the outside zone 1 was, look at this, the amount of angle there. There are some adjustments he had to do going to outside zone 1 to 2, but I think that's a lot of angle going through outside zone 2 as well. All right, so yeah, so really depends on the line. He does go into outside zone 2 a little later and dips the tire here and there. But overall, I did hear, you know, obviously you can see the adjustments with the e-brake and stuff like that, but very smooth overall.
There you are, 85.
85 points, so I guess the line score did hurt him a little bit, but you know what? He still has an 89-point run from the first run, so currently sitting second in the qualify.
So next up, in the Mr. DIY Linglong Tire Drift Team Orange S15, coming all the way from Thailand, number 56, Ming Ming. He's the 2022 Thailand Drift Series champion.
18 years old.
There he is, coming into outer zone 1 here. Oh, just missing outer zone 1, trying to get back on it here into this outer zone 2. Bringing it back around there, swinging it into the touch and go.
Oh. Man, there must, I mean, he got a 78 on his earlier run, so hopefully that's going to be good enough for him to make it into the top 32, but I think he had an issue and they had to take the car out last night and they brought it back. It was at the repair shop, getting something done, so I'm not sure if there's a problem. Maybe it popped out a gear, I'm not sure, but yeah, hopefully he can get his car sorted and ready for tomorrow's top 32.
So there you go, the official call for the incomplete right there. All right, these next two drivers sitting on incompletes currently. Pulling up to the line now, the champ himself, number 37, Koichi Yamashita, and the TMS Racing Team Cylon Tire BMW E92.
All right, this is the 2020 and 21 Formula Drift Japan champion. Then was driving a JZX 100 this year. He is in this platform, E92. Packed with a 2J.
So same power plant, different chassis. Here he is coming around to this outer zone 1. You can see right when he gets on it, it's gripping up right there through outer zone 2, coming back around through the touch and go.
All right, a few mistakes. You know, it's not an incomplete, but a few mistakes. Look at that wavering there. 2 tires off. Not a whole lot of angle. and
So we'll see. He had an incomplete on his first run.
yeah, the wavering is going to hurt him definitely for the initiation. And also not on the right line, doesn't fill the zones as much as he should be filling. This might be a tough one here for the two-time champion of FD Japan.
There you go.
Oof. 69. Man, that's, oh man, we're I don't even know what's the safe zone.
But where this driver currently sitting at, an incomplete is not safe at all. Number 33, Shigehisa Sasayama in the DSL.com Lexus RC. We'll see how he's going to do. Second qualified run, has to get a solid run in the books. We don't know where the safe break is right now. Here he is coming into outer zone 1, able to carry it through outer zone 1.
Oh.
A few adjustments there, entering into outer zone 2, not able to get all the way out to that outer zone 2, into this touch and go. And real shallow in that outer zone 3.
Man, I mean, he's getting a score, but not a whole lot of angle throughout the whole track. Very minimal, not on the outside line. Not going to say this is a pretty run, so this might be. Ooh.
We'll see.
This is very, very borderline average, I think, in most of the areas. And I think the outside zone, missing outside zone 2, that's like 10 points in line, you know. And missing that could really, really hurt you. I mean, beautiful car, and this is the canola oil girl. I was about to say girls, but there's only one girl, so girl. Ooh.
There you go, 63. I don't know if that's going to be safe at all.
Yeah,
63 is not.
Doesn't sound like a safe number.
It doesn't at all. And next up, coming at the line, he's already at the line, is number 77, Yusuke Kusaba with the Team Cusco Racing GR86. He has a 76 on his first qualifier run.
Yeah,
76 is hovering close to that breaking point, so we'll see here.
Hey, the temperature just dropped a lot.
It did. Here he is coming into that outer zone 1. Could have been a little deeper, but you can see right there, it's gripping up every time he gives it gas. It's just pulling it back in. Right there, bringing it back around into this touch and go. Real shallow in all the zones.
Yeah, doesn't make it to the outside, the outer area of the zones. Fairly shallow in angle at most of the areas. This is I think it's just because it's gripped up and maybe, you know, not knowing, you know, it's kind of, you know, it's a blind feeling. It feels like you're blind going into this after all the wet, and you have the feeling from being wet, the track being wet, and you know, trying to go and chuck the car hard as possible, even though it's dry. You know, it's something you have to be able to adjust to.
There you are, 71. So his 76-point first qualifier run is what he's gonna.
You know, watching all these guys struggle, now it really hits me that Kale Robampera's first run or second run in the dry was amazing, because he just came from a wet run to a dry run and landed that. That was yeah,
and
very
he
impressive.
sweeped every single zone. I mean, I'm just thinking about his run and then Daigo's run last year.
Yeah.
But here we are, this next run right here, Kodai Sawagiri, 79 on his first qualified run in the GR86. Look at that, coming in with some heat right there through outer zone 1.
Ooh.
Little bit of a e-brake pull. Ooh, and right there, gripping right back up.
Ooh.
Trying to adjust himself through this second part of the course.
Sounds like the car's hurt or something.
Yeah.
Right here. But right there, see, the car's trying to grip up. Doesn't want to smoothly go to the outside. And right there, it just sounds like the car is just struggling to
yeah, it's got a VR under the hood.
Well, Sowagiri is actually sitting on a 79, so I'd say that would be safe to make it. But obviously, these guys are going to want to qualify as high as possible, you know? Bragging rights, right?
Exactly. There you go, 67. Next driver rolling up. He has his fans right there. It's going to be the Linglong Tire Drift Team Orange driver, Kanta, in the JZX 100 Chaser. Got an 80 on his first qualify run.
All right, so now it's dry, and he has no excuses because he knows this track.
Exactly. This is a home track of his. Here he is coming around. Don't sleep on him. Here he is into outer zone 1. Coming with some heat there, springing back around into this outer zone 2 early on right there, filling outer zone 2 beautifully. And here he is flipping it back around into that touch and go to outer zone 3.
Wow, outer zone 2 was beautiful. And that, I think that was like a tire off or something at outside zone 1 right here. Slight adjustment, went a little too wide, but right here, look at that, perfect on outside zone 2, angle and a line.
Yeah, and commitment. You saw the throttle all the way through outer zone 2, but here you are right here. Here's an overview. You can see the smoke trail. Once he starts in outer zone 2, it doesn't stop. There he is all the way around, fully committed, coming back around through the touch and go. But we'll see if it's going to be enough to bump his 80-point first qualify run.
Yeah, I think his right here, this was probably one of the cleanest outside zone 2s I've seen that was done in the dry today. But you know, we have,
There you
92.
go, 92. So it looks like Kanta is currently now sitting in second, bumping him up right there. But we have our top 5 drivers right now sitting in the series, and right here sitting in 5th, you got Yukio Fausto with the Sidex Japan with Cylon tires and Liberty Walk S15. 81 was his first qualify run, and we talked to him during the break, and he says he's going to turn up this time, and he said, I'm going to do a backwards entry. I just hope it's not a disqualification one, but here he is coming around to the 3-2-1. Look at that, with some heat into outer zone 1. Nice job filling outer zone 1, getting right back on it there through outer zone 2. And look at that smoke trail trailing him into this touch and go and into this outer zone 3 here. Very aggressive all the way through.
Man, that's something that we wanted to see. Just a small mistake right here at the initiation. Look at that, he had to take out a lot of steering at the outside zone 1. After that, he pours on the angle. But if this rear bumper wasn't this long, I'm not sure how far off he would have been on the outside zone 2. But overall, I think a very exciting run, and slight adjustment there at the outside zone 1. Nearly perfect angle at the outside zone 2.
But yeah, he was full throttle through the finish. It just, you could feel like his anger just was going through the course or something, like it was progressing. But he got very committed to it, full throttle after outer zone 2, or through outer zone 2 and through the touch and go in outer zone 3.
This feels like the old Fausto's back, because he seems like he was a little timid this past couple rounds that I've seen him. Not as exciting, but here you go, that's an 84. He does up his score from an 81 to an 84. Good job by Yukio Fausto.
There you go, his fans there, his fans on the chat. We see y'all. Next up, ready to go, is going to be number 4, Masanori Kohashi. Got an 88 on his first qualify run. He's with the Linglong Tire Drift Team Orange A90 Supra.
Now getting an 88 in the wet, now it's dry. Very interesting to see how Kohashi is going to handle this track.
Oh man, here he is coming into that outer zone 1 right there, filling that zone, coming back around into this outer zone 2, but unable to get all the way out to the back side of that outer zone 2. Real deep in that that touch and go, almost dipping a tire there.
Wow. A lot of angle right here. A little bit of an adjustment at the outside zone 1. Almost full lock going outside zone 2. I think the outside zone 2 area is...
It's been a tough spot for a lot of these drivers getting all the way out to that outer zone 2. So we'll see. He got an 88 for his first qualify run. Is this going to be enough to bump his points up? Let's see this chase position coming around. Here he is into outer zone 1. Very aggressive, but you can see he made a few adjustments to get
right
where he
there,
needed to be.
outside zone 2 area. The line score is going to be slightly lower.
Yeah, he missed about the half point of outer zone 2.
I mean, overall average, I mean, I'd have to say that the style score shouldn't be too low either. Oh,
boom, 89. So 1 point increase on his total score.
man, only if he was a little bit more wider on the outside zone 2 from the beginning, that would have been in the 90s for sure. You know what, it's getting so cold that you can see my breath. Not because it stinks.
It stinks.
Oh, sorry. I'll give me some breath mints.
All right, we're down to our last 3 drivers right here. Next up is number 774, Hokuto Matsuyama in his Cusco Racing. Qualified first last round, got 3rd overall in the A90 Supra, but he has an incomplete right now. So he's not sitting pretty, but I'm not holding my breath here because here he is in the outer zone 1, filling outer zone 1, but just holding on there into this outer zone 2, adjusting himself a little bit through that zone. And here he is bringing it back around into this outer zone 3.
Yeah, and he, you know, I really like how some of these drivers kick a good amount of angle at the touch and go. Right here, a little timid at the initiation. It looks like he was being very careful on outside zone 1. But after that, he does pour on the angle at the outside zone 2 area. And I would have to say very smooth and clean run by Matsuyama.
So we'll see here. Unfortunately got an incomplete on his first qualify run. You can see him, looks like he dipped a tire on the second part of that second half of that outer zone 1. But started off real early through outer zone 2 and the rest of the zones.
Yeah, it is getting cold out here, so I don't even know what the...
There you go, 83.
I'm not sure how this is going to come in play with the track condition.
Well, we got our last 2 drivers for it.
Yeah, we got 2 more. Yeah, let's go. 2 more.
So this driver right here got 2nd at Suzuka Twin Circuit. He's number 36, Kazumi Takahashi. Got a 70 on his first qualify run. He's in the TMS Racing Team Silent Tire E92 BMW.
I think being in the 70s, mid-70s, you're already through. So now he's going to try to lay down something crazy here.
Yeah, here he is coming around into this outer zone 1. Oh, you can see it gripped up right there, pulling him forward, but that's a VR you're hearing. Rip right here through the touch and go. Man, the smoke that it's throwing down into the crowd right there through outer zone 3.
It's unfortunate to see that, you know, as soon as he got on throttle, boom, the car gets pushed forward. So,
man, we'll see. 78 was his first qualify run. Currently sitting with 83 points overall in the series. Second place right now.
Yeah, that's going to affect the style score. I did have to deduct.
Boom, 76.
I did have to deduct from the angle as well. Everything else kind of looked pretty good, but you know that area did hurt him on the score.
But here we are to wrap us up. It's been a long day of qualifying. We had a 2-hour break. It dried up. We had the wet in the morning, rain in that, or
It's like
dry
the
in the
perfect
afternoon.
scenario.
It is. But we're down to our last driver. First place at Suzuka Twin for round 1. Here we are for round 2 of the 23 G-Shock Presents Formula Drift Japan at Ebisu Circuit. You have the 13-year-old, number 771, Hiroya Minoa. Sitting on a 75. He's got to boost it up here through outer zone 1. Here he is into this outer zone 2. Not able to get all the way out to that zone, but here he is into the touch and go. Real deep into that touch and go, but man, but we got to see both faces of him with the wet and now the
one. And it looks like there was a little bit of a bobble there going into outside zone 2. But from, you know, going from wet to dry, this seems like this is the best he can do as of now because there's only one lap of dry by this 13-year-old driver.
Yeah,
you know,
I gotta say, Cusco is stacked. They got this 13-year-old driver, very phenomenal driver, WRC 2022 WRC champion, and they got last year's champion for the Formula Drift Japan series.
Yeah,
That's a pretty good lineup right there.
Yeah, if we had like a team total points or something, they would probably be leading pretty far because there's a lot of talented drivers in their team. Now right here, waiting for the score of the 13-year-old who just won last event is a 81.
81. So that's definitely a safe score for him, and he'll be moving on most likely to the top 32, but we'll see here shortly with the brackets getting produced on where he's going to be positioned and who he's going to be competing against.
Yeah, so like you said, it was a long day. We had 2 sessions of qualifying, the first one and the second one. We had time in between it, and we were able to, you know, catch a breather. The first round was all wet, second round was all dry, and we just came to realize that you know, the WRC champion knows how to drive anywhere.
Exactly.
Any
Any
kind of
condition.
terrain. Exactly.
Any competition, anything that has a steering wheel, he's good to go.
Yeah, so let me go ahead and explain to you. Tomorrow we have the time schedule on our Instagram and Facebook. Go ahead and check those out. But we have the gal on stage. They got the girls. They're going to be doing interviews on the stage from 8:30 tomorrow Japan time. Oh, let me go ahead and go back right here. This is the 97-point run done by Kale Robampera right there. Very smooth, minimal correction, a lot of throttle. Right here, right on the edge of the line. A little bit of adjustment of the e-brake. But you know what? That was your number 1 qualifier here today at Formula Drift Japan Round 2.
Man, phenomenal job coming in here, just wrecking house, making it happen. Coming off of a victory over in Portugal, and here he is with WRC, and then here he is coming into the Formula Drift Japan series.
Maybe the key is, you know, just trying to have fun.
And that's what he said he's coming out here for. Yeah,
and you know, no, not being nervous or anything at all. But going back to our schedule for tomorrow, we're gonna start the girls on stage, gals on stage from 8:30 to 9. That's going to be on live stream, so you can check that out if you want to go ahead and check out the umbrella girls that we have here from all the teams in the booths, so on. And the top 32 is going to start at 9:20 tomorrow. This is Japan time, 9:20 a.m. And top 16 will be starting a little past noon. It's going to be 12:20 tomorrow Japan time, and we're going to go all the way to the finals. So make sure that you don't miss any of the action. This is going to be something to watch. It's going to be very exciting. I promise you that. Seems like the weather report says we're going to be holding up. The weather's going to be great tomorrow, and I am looking forward to being in a nice, warm, sunny weather here at Ebisu Circuit for the 10th year of the Formula Drift Japan Series. Round 2, who's going to come on top tomorrow at the tandem and the battles, the head-to-head battles? We got so many exciting drivers. We got the 13-year-old Hiroya Minoa. We got last year's champion Hokuto Matsuyama. We have the young and upcoming drivers Kohashi from Team Orange, and also Kanta. We have Matt Mike Woodette all the way from New Zealand. We got Ken Gushi from Formula Drift USA from California. And so many other drivers. And last but not least, obviously, the #1 qualifier we have all the way from Finland. Car number 69, Kade Robampera, driving the KR69 Cusco Racing Red Bull GR Corolla.
Exactly, but I'd like to say thank you for you viewers out there sticking around with us. It's been a long day between the morning session and this session that we're doing right now, so thank y'all for sticking with us, listening to myself, Kenny, and once again, Robbie doing his thing.
And a little bit of Sean.
Exactly, you got a little bit, you got to taste the sprinkle of Sean in there, so
and,
yes.
Round of applause to everybody making it out. Congratulations to Formula Drift USA Series for the 20th season, and also congratulations to us here at Formula Drift Japan for the 10th season. We're going to keep going. We're going to see 30, 40 years into the drifting until we see that this sport is going to become an old school thing, just like the other sports we see all over the world.
Exactly. So good job, Robbie. And, you know, I'm excited to get this tandem battles down tomorrow. And, you know, let's all go out there and hope for good weather tomorrow.
Yep. Wish us luck for tomorrow. And make sure you're back to watch the tandem tomorrow. Make sure you do. Promise.
Exactly. And, then
and drop off the comments, too.
Yeah, drop some comments in there. Tune into the Instagram.
Hey, good and bad. It doesn't matter. Just tell us what you feel. If you guys don't like us, that's cool. You know, I'll go home.
Just put Robbie ... and then the bad comment.
If you want to hear Sean, more of Sean, let us know.
Put it in here.
He talks way too much, you know.
Yeah. We're about a 15-second delay off of what you guys are writing, so we try to put as much as we can, and then we also got a mediator in there kind of typing in there, answering questions that y'all have. So thank you all. You guys are our main fan base out there, and we appreciate you guys tuning in with us. And there you go again. There's the times. 8:30, they'll be going live with the girls, and then 9:20 it'll be starting top 32 with a 12:20 start for top 16 ceremony.
And it says, don't miss it, or look forward to it.